As one of many traditional owners and custodians of this land, I'm truly humbled to welcome you to country this morning. And I would like to acknowledge with the highest respect Nyunga Mam and Ngunis, our men and brothers, Yorgas, Jukan, our women and sisters, Brudias who are here, Babinga Nidiyaka Nunakan Murich, Karnya. So this is about gaining respect from colleagues, working together and making friends and networking.
First Nations people have been at the forefront of invention and creativity as the first peoples of this land. However, despite their sustainable practices and innovation, communities face increasing challenges in the digital economy. Indigenous entrepreneurs lack access to startup capital, and industry support is further increasing underrepresentation in the technology and entrepreneurship sectors.
The promise of technology was that it was supposed to be this great equalizer, right? Everyone was going to have a chance. As we got further and further into it, a lot of the mistakes of the past kept repeating, and then a lot of folks, kept getting left behind. We have to continue to think about how we can deliberately, unabashedly, intentionally try to bring everyone along this ride with us.
Investing to support digital entrepreneurs from our oldest living cultures empowers global impact. Australia has over 12,000 Indigenous businesses generating more than $2 billion annually. An Indigenous-owned business is 100 times more likely to hire Indigenous employees, benefiting the local economy where the businesses are founded. But the Indigenous startup and tech sector is small.
We need more Indigenous businesses to focus on those future economies to be sustainable, and we need to be inclusive around access to those opportunities where we can build our businesses up to recruit more of our people and our future generations who are going to be our future leaders. So we need to invest in that and include our women coming into the workforce and those coming out of other industries.
There's a growing sophistication of what we are capable of with understanding how do we fit as Indigenous businesses into the future.
What we're seeing now is the expansion of First Nation businesses. We're not being pigeonholed. Something that's also changing as well, that kind of perception of Indigenous businesses, slowly transitioning to seeing us as capable of building large, scalable, mainstream businesses. So I think there's definitely a change in that.
At First Nations X, we tackle this disparity by providing the resources needed for Indigenous entrepreneurs, small business and technology founders to scale their businesses. This in turn feeds back into their communities. It creates jobs, it creates knowledge-based skills. We do this by building connections to capital, corporate clients, capacity building and collaboration.
Facilitating Indigenous meet and learns with successful founders.
Everything's possible. Look out there, see what the conditions are like, see what things might be building, what might be breaking, but you have to kind of see what's coming and get yourself there. And I think the thing that is quite empowering these days, now you can really reach around the globe in ways where you don't have to create the technology yourself. People can now build mass audiences from anywhere.
Those Indigenous businesses that are involved in engineering or construction or in the mining sector can have an opportunity to play a role in space research.
From the mining area, we see a lot of that demand for value chain transparency. So how do we respond to that as Indigenous people? Definitely more conversations at a global level around value chain.
We're looking for businesses that have high Indigenous impact. So the New South Wales Treasury found that the biggest barrier to First Nations business growing their businesses was access to capital. Quite often, if you don't have that support system to take part in these programs, you're not connected to country, you don't know anyone. And so I think that there is a real opportunity to help propel our businesses into the future, and it is a real time for change.
To maximise the opportunity, we support global sharing between Indigenous businesses and technology ecosystems from Australia, United States of America, Canada and New Zealand.
By pulling together different First Nations peoples in ways like First Nations X, where you're having these different countries get together, I think this is the right approach. One of the things that I like the most about that program is, again, you're not talking about, we're going to come in and help you. What you're talking about is, what do you need? Here is our money, power, and influence to get you the right entrepreneur, to get you the right resources that are necessary.
If you get the right opportunity when that wave is coming, then you can see real successes. And whenever we can get Indigenous people from regional areas to participate, it just increases the richness so much more.
I'm Les Delaforce. I'm a Gumbaynggirr Dangari man from the mid-north coast of New South Wales originally. We have that collective impact that we're creating, and we're seeing this Indigenous startup sector or ecosystem, and that power shouldn't be underestimated.
I'm not technically savvy. I didn't go to university. It's just about me being excited about an idea that could be a solution. So with our drone technology, yes, we're working and talking with ranger groups. We're looking at programs for our children as well.
For us as First Nations people, we have looked after this environment through our cultural values of giving back to the land, giving back to the ecosystem, giving back to the environment. So, you know, if you want to know how to do it better in this space through environment, why wouldn't you partner with an Indigenous business who will have that knowledge?
I think now's the time that we can make the most of this convergence and really make change for the next generation coming through.
I just wanted to leave with a bit of a quote. There's power in all of us here, but however, as a collective, we have far more power to provide, to grow and create that generational wealth and opportunities for our mob within using startup entrepreneurship in the Indigenous business ecosystems.